Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka man of the people, your friend in the media. Hey, you guys responded very well to that last video. Subscribers are increasing. We're closer to 10,000. So I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Also, just like last video, the format worked out well. So I'm going to mute myself or take myself off the screen here in just a second. But if you're gonna use the video, which I have no problems with, I work hard to get you guys these videos. Please just give me credit, all right? So let me go ahead and take my, all right, there we go. Go ahead and take myself off the screen here. We're gonna enjoy some of the highlights from today, June 4th. This is a nice grab right here. Look at that, Adam Thielen. You see this a lot in practice. You can't get too excited over things that are just practice, but nevertheless, wanted to share with you all some clips. So again, help me get to 10,000 subscribers. If you haven't already liked the video, please like the video. That helps other Carolina Panther fans find out about my channel. The bigger we grow, the more that I can do for you guys. Lots of stuff that I've been able to do because of the growth. I can't say exactly, I hate saying that, but some things I can. And yeah, so here we go. Look at some highlights. And you know, I talked last week about Bryce Young and him running after practice. I'm sorry, in between drills and why he does that. So you're going to see that again today as Bryce continues to work on that. Derek Brown getting in some good action here. Appreciate the likes. Keep those likes coming. And next week, we have mandatory camp. So please subscribe and look for that content coming soon. Had to get hog mollies is what our old GM used to call them, but had to get some offensive linemen working here. And then you see Dan Morgan, general manager at practice today, taking a look at things. Couldn't get a good shot of Dave Canales today, but I know you guys want to see Dave. That was a shot of Dave Canales. There we go. I told you he was going to do it. Bryce Young off and running, trying to, Coach Canales said, hey, quarterbacks are athletes too. So I want those guys to run in between times so they can get their heart rate up and get that miles that all the other guys get. And there's J.C. Horn. Looking good. Welcome, Todd Hall. Welcome to Gators. You guys are welcome again. Just show me some love. I'll keep showing you guys as much love as I can. Here's Bryce Young again, going to take off. Look at this, right after the play. Take off, get that heart rate up. Practicing just for that moment of the game where pressure gets to him and he needs to move. But yeah, I'll continue to bring you guys as much content as I can. And at the end of the video, we're going to take some questions and also give you a little bit of content from Canales speaking with the media today. Share the video, like the video, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. Man of the people, hard at work for fans of the Panthers out there. We got just about another 30 seconds of some highlights left to show. No, I'm sorry. We got today. I did good. All right. Let me pause this for a second. Give myself a pat on the back. I did good today. I was late. I was honestly about 15 minutes late for practice today. Wasn't too much of a big deal because of the fact that, see if we can make this big. Wasn't too much of a big deal because they do stretching. So you guys don't care to see stretching, but I got you about 5 minutes worth of highlights today. So again, friendly ask and reminder for all those that like to take video, and I have no issues with it. Give your boy some credit. Help me continue to grow and do what I do as well, so I can continue to bring you guys this content. So, all right, let's get back to the videos. Dalton, Young, and Plummer. This was a really cool drill to watch right here. See, both of these guys kind of slipped right here at the end, but we got one more clip of some other guys going. So I guess once you tag, you had to change directions. I think that's what that's about. All right, so there you have it. Highlights from today, June the 4th, OTAs. Next week we begin mandatory OTAs. My man Eddie Pinheiro was not at camp once again. The thicker kicker that we like to call him, still been great. And this guy, what's his official name? Mevis, I believe is his official name. He always kicks from really, really interesting angles as he's practicing. He'll kick literally from the back of the goal line in the touchdown to the goalpost. So he's almost like sideways to the goalpost, and he'll do some kicks where he's practicing, and then he'll go a little bit further down and he'll still do the same thing. I didn't ask, but I feel strongly that the reason that he's doing that is to practice his accuracy, because the closer he is to being, I don't know what the word is, parallel to the field goal, the more narrow his space is to get it right through the uprights. And so he's been practicing that. He continues to be perfect in front of the media when he's out there in practice. So competition definitely looking like it's going to be there at all positions, but certainly at the kicking position with as good as Mevis has been doing. A few questions that I want to get to, and then I'm going to talk to you all about some things that Canales said with the media today. Really appreciate the kudos here from Todd Hall. Thank you. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for watching. Again, says, what do you think about the training camp being held in Charlotte this year? So from a logistical standpoint, I love it, love it, love it. On this channel, I'm a very personable person. Some of you that are longtime followers may know, got married about 4 years ago. We've had 2 kids. Now have a 2.5-year-old and a 7-month-old. So I like being home as much as I can. And when the practice was in Spartanburg, Spartanburg, I had to drive down so much, so early in the morning, coming back late. I like it being in Charlotte just because logistically I have to do a lot less driving, and we'll be able to bring you guys a lot more content. So I'm definitely happy about the training camp being moved to Charlotte. Is there any news on any upgrades to the cornerback room yet? So no news, no updates. I forget which coach it was, but he said, hey, if Gilmore comes, he'll be happy to coach him. But meanwhile, he likes the guys that he has now in that room. So one thing I want to play for you all is sometimes, and I haven't been asked yet in this video, it's like, hey, what's been going on? What are you seeing? How is so-and-so looking? How is this guy looking? And I'm like, it's so hard to tell because these guys are not really practicing. They're just running almost on air. So I want to play this clip for you. Anytime you think, hey, how do the guys look? Here's the answer.
We don't know what we have until we can kind of get into those competitive settings.
All right, so I'm going to play that one more time because this is so true about what we're able to see and what they're doing right now in practice. Here's Canales talking about what he's able to see right now.
We don't know what we have until we can kind of get into those competitive settings.
So, yes, they don't know what they have until they can get in a competitive setting, when they got the pads on, when communication is important. So other than, I show you the highlight of Thielen catching with one hand. You'll see guys do it all the time. J.C. Horn catching the ball with one hand. It's just a helmet and guys running really on air. So you can't really get deep into things right now. They are focusing on install, starting with the extreme basics and, then adding plays, adding iterations to those plays, and then just working on communication. So even next week, when we get into mandatory minicamp, other than seeing guys like Pinheiro that you haven't seen all season, or Clowney, which we did get a chance to see one time, you won't be able to tell much except, hey, they look good. But what's going on, Rodney? Appreciate you jumping on and saying hello. Rodney W., what's good with you? Play a few more clips for you. Canales talking about, well, even though they're not in pads and they can't tell everything, how do you feel about where the team is right now versus where you think they should be? So let me go ahead and play that for you.
So I think I would say because of the familiarity of the staff on offense, certainly on defense with the carryover, but on offense, a lot of guys that really, we kind of grew up together in different parts and different seasons in Seattle, and then of course going to Tampa and having a group of guys that I was able to work towards together. I'm really encouraged where we're at with our teaching of our systems, the teaching of our concepts, and I think that's kind of natural as we talked early on. Communication is the vehicle, and so when we can all speak the same language, we're telling the quarterbacks one thing, the tight ends and receivers are hearing the same thing in the concepts. The offensive line of the quarterbacks and running backs in the protection meetings, it's a group of guys that we're used to working together. So I feel like we're ahead of where I was at last year, not trying to compare, but just looking at, coming into a situation where I have some familiarity, the carryover has been really refreshing for me.
So there is Dave Canales talking about where they are right now. And last but not least, last week I did a video close up. A lot of people have enjoyed watching Bryce Young and breaking down his footwork. So Canales today talked about his observations of Bryce Young and his footwork thus far.
So it all starts with our feet. It all starts with the rhythm and timing in the pass game, okay, whether it's under center play actions or in the gun with our drop back passes. And so we're looking for that rhythm that fits the pass concepts. And so I think for the first phase of it, phase one, where we're really just doing individual drills and we're not quite into the team settings, seeing the defense and all that, it's hard to really visualize himself other than watching things we've done in the past, So I think that as we've been able to be on the field through phase two and now in the OTAs, being able to see those concepts come to life with different coverages, different pressures, different types of receivers, that's where the growth is really start to happen for Bryce and even Andy. Andy's got a natural way to kind of create that rhythm. He's been playing a really long time, but learning our guys is critical. And so, but the ground up thing is exactly right. So that's what we're really focusing on and trying to marry that part up.
So there you have it. The Carolina Panthers head coach Dave Canales talking about this team so far, the footwork of Bryce. And again, next week we go into mandatory minicamp. I will be there covering it for you, bringing you as much content as I can and bringing you some more insight as I'm able to see that in terms of dissecting this team, dissecting the individuals. What I will tell you, and I'll continue to grow on this because I'm liking it so much, is that I really like what I'm hearing from Dave Canales and about Dave Canales in terms of his attention to detail, what he has his team working on, and also the relationships that he builds with his players and his coaches in order to get the most out of them. I feel like I could talk an hour about it in terms of things that you hear that's impressive. Today we heard one of the coaches talk about, you can tell he's intentional about getting a relationship with you. And everybody seems to say, like, he cares. And it's so much more you can get out of a person when they know that you care. And also when you're criticizing that person, they know that you're not just, hey, where's this coming from? You don't even know me. You don't even know what I may be, like he knows. But with the coach today, he found out that he was going to yoga. And he said, okay, when do you go? And I think he said Thursdays at some crazy hour, like 5:45 in the morning. And Dave Canales has not missed a workout since. Now, he did say Dave's recently gotten settled. So, the family's here, things may change a little bit, but that stick with him. They go to yoga class, hot yoga class at that, like 5:45 in the morning. So I feel pretty optimistic about this team. Not saying they're about to go and take on the world by storm and have this great 12-5 record. I'm not saying that, but in terms of feeling confident about this team being able to grow and start to get into something good, something great to watch each week, I'm feeling optimistic about it. Zulu King, hopefully I got it right, checking in from the Port City. Appreciate you. And Anthony Andrews, all the way from California. I haven't been to Cali in a couple years. Appreciate you guys tuning in as well. I'm going to sign off for now. Again, hit that like button. Certainly, if you watch to the end, you've enjoyed the content. Give me that. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps me continue to grow, gain access to more players and coaches. All right. Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe.